Good evening, everyone, and welcome to St. Louis, Missouri. We've had some rain today. Of course, that is all taking place outside. We are inside the Trans World Dome. Tonight, the Oakland Raiders and the St. Louis Rams. Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Jones, and welcome to the beginning of preseason 1999. This is always the most exciting time of the year, as everyone is anxious once again to get back to professional football. Joining me tonight is Jim Plunkett. Jim, we know the starting quarterback situation for the Oakland Raiders, but what is going to happen after Rich Gannon puts it away after the first quarter?
Well, Charlie, one of the stories tonight will be Pat Barnes, a star at the University of California. He recently led the Frankfurt Galaxy to the World Bull title in Europe, but does he have what it takes to be in the NFL? He's one player Coach Gruden will take a long look at tonight. And we'll take a long look along with him. Artie Gigantino joins us on the telecast. The defense was tremendous last year. Will they be as strong this year?
Well, hopefully so. In 1997, the Raiders had the worst defense in all of the National Football League. Enter Willie Shaw, and they were 5th last year in the NFL. But Willie had a lot of help. Defensive tackle Darrell Russell went to the Pro Bowl, and the best young defensive back in all of football, Charles Woodson, also went to the Pro Bowl. He is a great one that'll be in the Hall of Fame someday.
He's exciting to watch, isn't he? All right, stay with us. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment. From St. Louis, the starting quarterback, Trent Green and Rich Gannon. We are live, the Oakland Raiders and the St. Louis Rams. Well, it is a Raider fact. The last time the Raiders played in St. Louis was October the 7th, 1973 at Busch Stadium against the then St. Louis Cardinals. Oakland won it 17-10. Very hot and humid day, and I did that broadcast. Joining us on our telecast tonight is George Atkinson. George is on the sideline, and let's join him now.
Thank you, Charlie. Tonight should be some interesting battles for jobs. One of those battles is Mo Collins will be challenged by a first-round draft choice, Matt Stinchcomb. That's the left offensive tackle. Left offensive tackle is probably the most important position on the field because it protects the backside of $16 million quarterback Rich Gannon. So, guys, keep an eye on that battle. Charlie, back to you.
All right, thank you, George.
You know, when you look at Stinchcomb, he's a guy that's got to come through for this young coach, John Gruden, who's done such a great job with this Raider football team.
Here's John Gruden, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders.
You know, Charlie, the one thing, Jim, about him, everything is up-tempo. You go to practice, you see nothing but a ton of energy from John Gruden.
He looks so young. Vermeil with the gray hair, he looks so old. But it's a contrast. It's the old school of coaching and the new school of coaching.
And you just wonder if Dick Vermeil has gotten over that change over the years. Again, has changed. Has he been able to keep up with it? So far, his record indicates that he hasn't.
You know, there's a lot of pressure on Dick Vermeil here in St. Louis this year to go out and win football games.
The Rams have won the toss. They will be receiving. Tony Horn, the single back on the return. Michael Husted kicks it away, and we are underway. It is taken right at the goal line to the 5, heads to the right to 10, 15, little stutter step, and is going to be swarmed under around the 19-yard line. And so the St. Louis Rams will go to work at their own 19-yard line. Number 10 is Trent Green. He is scheduled to play the first quarter for the Rams. And as he comes out to his offensive huddle, his backs and receivers.
And Greg Hill is an explosive back that they got from Kansas City a couple of years ago. And somebody who can really help him down the field.
And his offensive line,
Orlando Pace is turning to that all-pro they probably would do.
So it is first down at the 19-yard line. Open with a play-action fake. They come out throwing. Pass is complete to Isaac across the 25 to the 27-yard line. He's going to pick up about 8 on the play. So now let's check out that defense for the receivers, Arnie.
Well, the guy leads his defense is Darrell Russell. He went to the Pro Bowl last year. He's one of the premier defensive linemen in all of football. And Charles Woodson, who we talked about in the open, is a outstanding cornerback. Missing tonight, though, is Eric Allen, who's resting from knee surgery of a year ago.
And to look at Charles Woodson, he is number 24. Last year, the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year.
You know, it's amazing. When he came into the league a year ago, he played like he had been in this National Football League for 5 years.
Now, you know we're in preseason, but after the first play, there's indecision offensively for the St. Louis Rams. And they have to take a timeout. So they burn one timeout. Dick Vermeil is not happy with that. We'll step aside for a moment. We have no score. We'll be back to this in just a moment. Jones along with Jim Plunkett and Artie Gigatino. Marshall Faulk just signed this past week, we understand, for about $45 million. A lot of money.
Charlie, that's a lot of money. You know what? He's a good football player, and he's the best running back they've had here since Eric Dickerson was traded many moons ago.
And is scheduled to make a ceremonial appearance in the ball game. And that is so everybody can applaud and welcome him to St. Louis. All right, now we're back to action. Down in 3, play action fake, rolling right, going into the right flat, pass is complete. It's going to be close to the first down, should pick it up by about a half a yard. Charles Woodson was there on the coverage. We've talked about the quarterback rotation for the Oakland Raiders. Trent Green is scheduled to go the first quarter, Kurt Warner second and third, and Joe Germain the fourth quarter for the Rams.
And you know, they're coming out with play action, Charlie. They fool the Raiders because usually first game of the season they just want to get to the backfield, and right now they're getting fooled right off the bat.
And again, a play action fake, sets, goes deep, has a man wide open and down the sideline and out of bounds. Isaac Bruce. That is scheduled to be one of the big combinations for the Rams. They have Bruce and also Hakeem, two great receivers. And then they've got this rookie, Torrey, the #1 draft choice.
And once again, they fake the play action to hold the linebackers and the secondary to a certain extent, and Isaac Bruce got deep behind the secondary for that long gainer.
A lot of new players here on this St. Louis offense, but a new offensive coordinator. Mike Martz comes from the Washington Redskins, and one of the things they want him to do is open up the offense.
41 yards on the play, 29-yard line of the Raiders, opening drive. Here's the straight handoff to Greg Hill. Scramble for the ball at the bottom. Plunkett, you've been at the bottom of a lot of those piles. What really goes on?
Well, they're grabbing for a lot of things, not necessarily the ball, but
well said.
I didn't know quarterbacks got down on those piles.
They do when there's a fumble on the snap.
But a good hole for Greg Hill to run through. He just gets popped by number 3.
Anthony Newman comes across, knocks the ball loose. Good job by Newman.
Second down and 6. Orlando Pace was right in the middle of everything, as you expect him to be. 3 wide receivers. That's Ricky Prohl, who comes across in motion for the Rams. Fake him a pitch out when there was really nobody there to fake the pitch out to, and he gave to Greg Hill, and Greg's going to lose a couple of yards. Lance Johnston makes the tackle, and a flag comes down at the 27-yard line.
Johnstone's coming off an 11-sack year, stayed at home that time, the cutback perfectly.
A motion call against the Rams.
One of the things that happens to offenses when you have new players, new coordinators, and new systems, the timing under pressure is very hard to come by. That's why you have preseason games.
The penalty is refused. It'll be 3rd down and 7. At the 26-yard line, Chad Lewis comes in as the tight end. Greg Hill and Robert Holcomb on. Hill now is the remaining back in the set. Holcomb has come out. Bruce comes across in motion. Hill, nice pickup of a blitzing linebacker, and the pass is complete. And it's Isaac Bruce once again.
You know, and Charlie, this is a good situation where the quarterback bides time, moves around a little bit until he can find somebody open, just like Trent Green did there.
And that's what they hope Rich Gannon will do for the Raiders.
A gain of 6 on the play to the 20-yard line. That makes it 4th down and 1. Opening drive of the season. And the Rams are going to go for it. This Jacoby comes in with a double tight end set. Play action fake again, has a man open in the right flat and hits him. And it's Robert Holcomb.
A gutsy call early in the preseason. Not only was it 4th and 1, but it's a pass on 4th and 1. It's a bootleg. Holcomb slips out into the flat, and Green puts the ball right on the money. Good job by Mincy that time at coming up. But I thought Jim was an excellent play call.
Oh, and already, they're moving the pocket. They're not letting Trent Green just stand there in the pocket, except for one time. Every other time he's been either play action or moving outside the pocket to give him time and give him better vision.
First down, 17-yard line. Do you go to the end zone and just keep up what they're doing?
Well, I think they might try for it. I think they're very excited about what's happening right now.
Pump fake, nobody's there, everybody's covered. Green scrambles and then diving to about the 12-yard line.
And there you go. That's what the modern quarterback is turning into. Part runner.
Last year for the Redskins. This guy's a winner, and they've got high hopes for him.
2nd down and 5. No score in the ball game. This again, the opening drive. Comes across in motion. The give is to Hill, the second back through. And Greg Hill has spent so much time with Kansas City just inside the 10-yard line. We'll call it to 9. Newman with the tackle.
Anthony Newman played very well last year prior to getting hurt. He is needed in this secondary. He's a guy that brings a lot of experience. He played here at the Rams for 6 years, but he also knows Willie Shaw's system from his days with Willie Shaw at the New Orleans Saints.
We're closing in on 8 minutes and 38 seconds. Time remaining in the first quarter. Dominated thus far by the offense of the Rams. And this time it's the defense of the Raiders that takes over. Lance Johnstone coming in to make the play, number 51.
That was going to be the old shuffle play, Jim, huh?
Yeah.
I hate that play as an offensive coordinator because of things like that can happen.
Well, yeah, nobody blocks the defensive end. Is supposed to shuffle the ball underneath them, but, the running back couldn't.
From the 22-yard line, an attempt by Jeff Wilkins of 32 yards. And it is good from 32 yards away. He hit last year from 57 yards out. Rams have the early lead, 3-0. Back in a moment. St. Louis opening drive leading to the field goal. They are up by a score of 3-0. Calvin Branch, number 27 on the far side, and Randy, number 28 on the near side, as they await the kickoff of the St. Louis Rams. First opportunity for the Oakland Raiders on offense. And here's Randy Jordan on the return to the 20, across the 25 and out around the 27, maybe the 28-yard line, where the Oakland Raiders will go to work. And coming in is number 12, Rich Gannon. He'll be the starting quarterback, and we'll be back in a moment. Three to nothing. Oakland on offense for the first time in the ball game with Rich Gannon the starting quarterback, and he will be the quarterback for the first quarter or maybe just the first couple of series depending on the amount of work and time. That all factors in. Napoleon Kaufman and John Ritchie are the 2 running backs. And the Raiders start from their own 28-yard line. The give to the second back through, and of course that's Napoleon Kaufman. And let's take a look now at that Raider offense. Jim Plunkett.
And Rich Gannon's the guy they hope to make things happen, but Napoleon Kaufman is still the guy that they want to have big plays from.
Collins is in a battle. We've been talking about it earlier, and we'll be updating you throughout the ballgame. Second. Gannon has all the time in the world, comes back underneath the coverage to Tim Brown. And Tim Brown is decked at about the 35-yard line, as we will check out now the defense of the St. Louis Rams.
A lot of injuries in the defensive front for the Rams. But watch number 98 tonight. Grant Wistrom, a great pass rusher out of Nebraska.
Defensive back.
In the backfield, Todd Light has been with the Rams for 9 years. He's the senior of this football team.
3rd down and 2. Kenny Shedd comes in. 3 wide receivers. Gannon moves Shedd outside, puts him in the slot. And we have some jumping. I believe it was Mo Collins who moved.
Now, that's the hardest thing.
Well, he had to wait a long time.
Yeah.
And he had to wait a long time with the quarterback moving everybody around.
He saw the blitz coming. He wanted to audible. He did, and Mo Collins just couldn't hold his water, as they say.
That's called the zebra formation. 3 wide receivers and a tight end. But Mo Collins, like you said, Jim, just got a little bit jumpy. You know what? When you're lined up against great pass rushers, like a guy like Lindstrom, just try to get a head start sometimes. Just don't get caught.
3 wide receivers. Ritchie, the remaining back. He's there to block. Blitz is coming. Steps forward. Hit. Throws a little bit off balance. It's incomplete to Kenny Shedd. So the Ram defense holds the Raiders. The penalty hurt. It was 3rd down. It's now 4th down. And the Raiders will kick it away.
One of the areas that John Gruden wants to improve this year is kick coverage. Not only in kickoffs, but also in punt. Leo Aragus, the punter, is one of the premier punters in all of football. But the coverage teams have got to do a better job.
And Oz Hakeem is the return man for the St. Louis Rams. Good kick. He takes the 13-yard line. Comes to the near side. Cannot get around the corner as he is pulled down. And he's pulled down by Jermaine Williams. Nice play for the Oakland Raiders. So the Rams will move on offense for the 2nd time in the ball game, and they lead it 3-0. Their opening drive, Trent Green hit 5 of 6 for 60 yards. And Isaac Bruce had 6 receptions for 57 yards. That's really a hot combination.
And he's out of the game already. They took him out, gave him a rest. He's done.
He does. Bruce deserved it. He caught 6, ran 57 yards. It's hot and humid.
The man deserves a rest. Yes.
Greg Hill. Hill pops it open on the left side, out to the 35, out of bounds, just across the 40-yard line. Darian Gordon, the starter right corner, finally takes him out.
The Rams got caught in a blitz that time. Rams ran a counter-type play, and the ball bounces out to the offensive left. Good design against that particular defense, but you can't get knocked down, and Greg Hill does a great job of just seeing a scene getting up the field.
They just got caught in the blitz. We're able to wall everybody off on the inside.
He rambles for 22 yards on the play and the 1st down. Little play action fake again. Sets good protection. Has the man open. Hits him near the sideline. Does he have it?
Whoa.
Azahir Hakeem. They're ruling that in. That he got both feet down. Whoa.
Well, you're going to see him come behind Darian Gordon there. He reaches up, he catches the ball.
One,
He's got one, he drags the second one.
What a great job.
That's the eye.
Fantastic.
Well done.
And a good call by the officials.
Oh, yeah.
Which reminds me that we, of course, have the instant replay. And each coach has 2 challenges in the ball game. It's a 1st down on the 40-yard line. Hill comes inside. There's just a couple of yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 7 or 8 to go. All right, the Rams' key additions this year. Here's a look at them. Trent Green, Marshall Faulk, the running back, who we saw and will not play tonight in a ceremonial appearance, but will be playing the rest of the season.
We talked about Vic Vermeil being under a lot of heat. He had to go out and get better talent on offense. That's exactly what he did. And also, he's added a guy by the name of Torrey Holt from North Carolina State, who's an outstanding wide receiver who they drafted in the 1st round.
2nd and 9. Here's the pitch out to Hill. Hill behind A platoon of blockers turns the corner. Flag comes flying in. James Harris makes the tackle. Jim, tell me about Trent Green.
Well, so far he's running that offense to a T. He's been experienced with Mike Martz, their offensive coordinator from Oregon, where he played under him, you know, he's just getting off to a great start. They're helping him by moving the pocket. Now all of a sudden they've got a running game to go with it, so that's ideal for a quarterback.
How important is his leadership, his taking over the huddle, all of that establishment that a new quarterback has to do? How important and how quickly does that come?
Well, you know, it all depends, but I think for Trent Green, the way the offense is moving right now, you'd think it started right as soon as he got here. Training camp, the mini camps prior to leading up to the start of this preseason. So I think they've got a lot of confidence in him already.
Mike Martz is the gentleman on the second from the right with his arms folded. He looks a little bit like the tuna, Bill Parcells, in the New York Jets. But he's doing a great job.
Green, play action fake, stays in the pocket, jumps to the outside, has pressure from the backside, throws deep over the middle, and it is incomplete. Hakeem could not hang on to it. A little behind him, but Green had a lot of pressure at the end of that play.
Yes, he did, but he did an excellent job of moving around. Charles Mincy, number 22, a new addition this year to the Raider defensive backfield, made the play on defense. Mincy's a guy that Willie Shaw is going to look to in case an Eric Turner or an Anthony Newman go down. He is taking the place tonight of the injured Eric Turner.
Rams now with 4 wide receivers in the set. It's 3rd down and 9. Torrey Holt makes his appearance, the #1 draft choice in North Carolina State. Sets up, goes deep, heads to the end zone. And there, it is caught by Torrey Holt, the #1 draft choice, the 6th pick in the draft. His debut performance.
And no wonder why they went for him. As soon as he got in the ball game, they sent him deep, and he was able to get behind the secondary for what looked like an easy touchdown pass.
He is a speed wide receiver. He's a guy that they took over Champ Bailey in the draft. That's why we talked about him as also being a key addition to this football team. Great throw that time by Trent Green, but Torrey Holt ran right to the Raider secondary. You know, they traded Eddie Kennison to get him, and Eddie Kennison's had a couple great years with the Rams.
The extra point is up and good. And they're down at the end and wait on the ball.
A little bit.
Seemed like he had another couple of steps on the defender.
Well, you get too much air under the ball sometimes, and that's what happens. But, you know, this guy is a, quote, 4.4 speed burner, and that's fast.
Plus, he adjusted to the ball. It was a little slightly underthrown. He was able to, you know, find it, catch it, and still make it look easy. The kind of receivers you're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you look at the strength, though, of this Ram team, and between Hakeem, Holt, and Bruce, those are 3 very, very good National Football League receivers. And fast. There's a guy, Mike White, who's standing next to Vic Vermeil, who's probably a very happy guy right now.
A lot of smiles on that bench.
A lot of smiles. But Mike was the ex-Oakland Raider head coach, as we all know. Has since joined Vic Vermeil's staff here in St. Louis.
Well, St. Louis now with a 32-yard field goal and a 40-yard touchdown pass to Torrey Holt. Let's go back and see if he did slow up.
You know, he kind of waited for it.
He slowed him up in slow motion.
That's right.
Yeah. But he did. Randy Jordan, number 28, and Calvin Branch, number 27, are the deep men on the return. Jeff Wilkins, number 14, will kick it away for the Rams. Jordan on the near side. And Jordan is going to take it at the 7-yard line. And he is out to the 20, gets to the outside. Sheds one tackler, a nice return and a very tough return out near the 30-yard line. Corey Pelsack making the stop from St. Louis, the quarterback rotation for the Raiders. Rich Gannon, first quarter. Now, we only have 3:52 left in the first. He was in for 1 series of 3 plays plus the kick. So we may see the second quarter. Pat Barnes is going to be the story that we expect to see a lot of him.
You're right, but, you know, Rich Gannon, not very many plays, only 3 so far. And if he doesn't get a good long drive going now to get into the second quarter, I should say, you know, they'll probably put in Pat Barnes.
This, of course, the opening preseason game for the Oakland Raiders. The next game is a week from tomorrow afternoon at 3:30. Associates Coliseum against the Dallas Cowboys at 3:30 in the afternoon. First down. Little swing into the right flat, and it's a little low to Napoleon Kaufman. So it'll be second down and 10. Preseason objective.
You know, every football coach has different objectives. Some guys want to just win the game. Some coaches want to evaluate schemes and specific players. Some guys want to feature players. Like if you're a wide receiver, see how you play the deep ball. And some coaches, like John Gruden, wants to give some of his backup experience.
Here is Kaufman, has a little bit of a hole off the right side. He's going to pick up a couple of yards, maybe 3 on the play, and it's going to be third down and long.
And one player who's not in there right now is Ricky Dudley. He's banged up a little bit, and they got Jeremy Bringup playing in his place, and they got him from Washington last year. Very high on him. He's got great hands, and they want to see what he can do in game situations.
There's Ricky Dudley on the sidelines. Had orthoscopic knee surgery about a month and a half ago. He just felt because of the AstroTurf tonight, he ought to rest his knee.
3 wide receivers, third down and 7.
This is an audible at the line of scrimmage.
Blitz is coming, safety blitz. Pass is caught right at the first down marker, and it may be enough for the first down. Kenny Shedd held on to it. Well, hold up for a first down.
Yeah.
Here's the audible.
And the last time the Raiders audibled, they had trouble holding their patience, and Mo Collins moved. But this time they stay in there. They read the blitz. They pick it up very well. And Rich Gannon is able to get the ball off to Kenny Shedd. And Kenny Shedd's a guy who, although he's an excellent receiver, he makes his team year after year because of his special teams play.
40-yard line. It is a first down. This one is intercepted by a defensive lineman. Right in the middle of everything. Grant Wistrom.
Rich Gannon was under great pressure, and I'm not sure he saw Wistrom standing there, and he just threw the ball. Obviously, he'd like to have that one back, and he just made Winstrom's day, because when a defensive lineman intercepts a pass, it's a big throw. You're going to see Wistrom now up at the top, number 98. He comes off Collins. When he reads it's going to be a screen, does a great job of seeing the ball, gets his hand up and pulls it in.
You know, he didn't get much depth for a screen, and I think that was part of the problem there.
And Kurt Warner is now the quarterback for the St. Louis Rams. So that's it for Trent Green. He has looked outstanding. That's all that they wanted to see. Play action fake, stumbles forward, and just lofts it into the air, and it is knocked away. A jump ball right at the goal line.
You know, two things. Kurt Warner doesn't have much experience playing. Only through 11 passes last year, completed 4, but there's a young quarterback's mistake, just throwing it up for grabs, and it was a great play by the defensive player, number 88, to really play defense in that regard and help knock the ball down.
That was Torrey Holt again.
Yeah, he's a player.
He is.
Kurt Warner comes from the Iowa Barnstormers in the Arena Football League, and he was the practice squad quarterback that only played a little bit, like you said, Jim, a year ago. You think it's a little different out here than arena football?
How would you like to have an EKG on his heart right now? It's got to be a...
Shoot, that pass in the arena arena league would have been out of the ballpark.
Dick Hantak is the referee, reorganizing everything. And remember, as you watch and as you see the preseason games, that preseason's for everybody. It's also for the officials.
Right.
The coaches.
And the announcers.
The announcers, the coaches, and the players. And the fans.
It is too, yeah. They got to get back into the cheering mode.
Got to remember the numbers from last year.
Back to throw. Right side, Hill has it, spins away. Nice move. Greg Hill seems to be running a little more aggressively this year
Absolutely.
than he was last year.
Absolutely, and he made that on his own, because for all intent and purposes, that should have been a minus yardage play. But he did a great job of spinning around and going north and south. Now, he's not a rookie, as we've talked about. He's a guy that's played in this league out of Texas A&M. He's a fifth-year man. He knows how to play in this league and what it takes.
But something like a screen, you put that in for a young quarterback like Kurt Warner, take some of the pressure off him, an easy throw. If it's not there, you can throw it away, but build up some confidence with a young guy.
3rd down and 4. From the shotgun. First time the Rams have shown it. This pass is complete to Hakeem at the 20-yard line, and it will be a first down. Pick up a 13 on the play. It was 3rd down and 4. Barry Carter with the tackle.
Hakeem's out of San Diego State. When you look at him, you say, wow, is he fast? He runs a great out pattern, and Warner just puts the ball right on the money, maybe a little bit behind him, but Hakeem does a good job, Jim, of coming back and finding the ball.
Yeah, and Kurt Warner was a little late with the ball. The throw should have been there a little bit sooner, but he's young. He's learning the game right now, learning what to do.
And like Charlie said, he's nervous.
Oh, sure, you bet.
I'm nervous.
Don't be. I'll protect you.
All right. We had some jumping by the defensive line. The ball carrier is Robert Holcomb. Holcomb and Derek Harris were the 2 running backs, and that's in reality a pair of fullbacks for the St. Louis Rams.
That's why you have a non-rhythmic cadence, to draw defensive linemen off sides. The defensive linemen have got to watch the football.
Defense number 98. Moving into the neutral zone prior to the snap. 5-yard repeat down, first down.
You know, and right now, if you talk about the 2 teams, you know, the Rams certainly seem to be outplaying the Raiders as far as poise goes, execution, all the things that Coach Gruden mentioned. The Rams are doing a little bit better than the Raiders are right now.
So with the penalty, move the ball to the 15-yard line. It will be first down and 5.
It's a great situation here to go for the end zone, because you almost have a waist down.
Torrey Holt is wide to the far side. Play action fake. In zone over the middle. Pass is complete. It is Torrey Holt with his 2nd touchdown in preseason.
You know, and I would have bet anything that that's the guy, Torrey Holt, that Kurt Warner was going to go to, because in practice, that's who he practices with almost every day, because he's running with the 2nd unit. And so they've got something going together, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened.
So Warner to Holt. This time from 15 yards out.
Penalties. Tripping on the number 60.
Hold it.
Defensive pass interference. Number 33. Penalties are offset. Repeat the down. First down.
Well, Bucky Brooks, number 33, got caught for pass interference, but Mike Grahadara got caught for tripping inside. Watch number 60 in the middle. Right there, he throws out his left leg, and he trips number 90, Grady Jackson. Good call again by the officials, right on top of things.
If I'm the Rams, I go right back to Torrey Holt.
Absolutely. Charlie, I've always said you'd be a good offensive coordinator.
Well, unfortunately, they take him out for a breather right now. Okay, Ricky Prohl is the wide receiver, singled out on the far side. Now he steps up. And we have motion across the backfield. Holcomb getting his opportunity after Greg Hill has gone out for a rest. And Robert Holcomb, the ball carrier. He needed 5 for the first down. He got inside the 10-yard. So it's going to be first down and goal to go as we come to the end of the first quarter. We come back, and you're not going to believe this. First down, goal to go, 9-yard line. Robert Holcomb, number 25, is the ball carrier for the St. Louis Rams. And watch what happens.
He steps up into the line of scrimmage, and Grady Jackson knocks the ball loose, and K.D. Williams, number 59, ends up with it. And it's too bad he tripped up, because he could have went all the way.
So the Raiders have the ball. We have an injury and a timeout.
He'll never live to be as old as he looks.
Oh, that's a great line.
Say that on the air if they ever get a shot.
Yeah, we get a shot at run.
Later on, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Run of the ball game. The Rams had a total of 20 offensive plays in the first period.
And Rich Gannon is still into the second quarter.
Well, you know,
is the ball carrier. Go ahead.
Excuse me, Charlie. What you want to do, and I think John Gruden's doing the wise thing here, is you want to see him engineer a drive of about 6 or 7 plays, because you can't evaluate Rich Gannon on 7 plays.
But you have 3 other games to evaluate him. It doesn't have to be all tonight.
But coaches are impatient and never stick to the plan.
The plan is only to deviate, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Second down and 5. Gannon to throw. He is on target. Then he goes to Jeremy Brigham, the tight end, who has looked so good in training camp.
He has. He catches everything thrown towards him. They're really in love with him, even last year.
All right, let's look at the key additions to the Raiders.
You know, obviously we've talked about Rich Gannon being the #1 addition, but Zach Crockett was having an outstanding camp prior to going down with a foot injury. The other 2 people, Charles and Darian Gordon, will be key additions to this defense.
Double tight end set for Oakland. Gannon to throw. Comes back short over the middle to the 40-yard line. Terry Mickens on the receiving end. Mark at the 41-yard line. It'll be second down and 7.
You know, another reason why they want to keep Gannon in there is to give him some confidence. He probably has to stay in there to get another opportunity to run this offense before the night was over.
You know, we're talking about impatience. There's a guy, Pat Barnes, #4, standing on the sidelines that can't wait to get in.
The pitch is to Napoleon Kaufman. And Kaufman is taken out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. So he's going to lose a yard on the play. Dexter McCleon for St. Louis was there.
One of the new running plays that the Raiders are running this year is much more of a sweep, pull, get out on the perimeter game with Napoleon Kaufman. They want to get him up to about 1,300 yards again this year in his rushing attack. And one of the things he does well is run on the perimeter.
3 wide receivers. Now they go to 4, it is. And they go to an audible. Quick drop on target, passes. Damian Douglas out of California, the #4 draft choice.
And here's a young kid out of California, set all kinds of records, received for over 1,000 yards at Cal in his career, or his season last year. Just a great receiver for Cal over the years, a 4-year starter.
And a gain of 11 yards on the play. Now back to a double tight end set. Kaufman, the remaining back. Gannon's throw near the first down marker. Kenny Shedd at the other end of the play.
And now the Raiders have some rhythm going. Their offense is picking up a little bit. They're dropping back, getting rid of the ball quickly. A lot of good things that you want to see the quarterback doing right now.
Kaufman made a great block too, by the way.
Absolutely. He's improved in his blocking, which was subpar a year ago. The coaching staff's doing a nice job of making him become a better blocker.
37-yard line, first down. Kenny Shedd and Horace Copeland are the wide receivers. Play action fake. Rolling to the right and keeping and stepping out of bounds.
And there you go. There you go. One of the reasons why they brought in Rich Gannon, to do those kinds of things. He had a little pressure on him, couldn't get the ball off, so he puts a little move on the defensive end and then gets a good gain of about 7 yards on the run. See, and that's what more and more quarterbacks are doing today. They've got to be mobile. They've got to be able to get out of the pocket. They've got to give themselves more time when they're in the pocket to get rid of the ball. And Rich Gannon, Trent Green, both are in that category.
2nd and 4, 31-yard line. Backs now split. 3 steps. Pass is complete, and it is good to the 15-yard line. Horace Copeland pulls it in.
Half the plays on this drive now have been audibles at the line of scrimmage by Rich Gannon. He's come up to the line of scrimmage, made excellent reads, found the seam of where he wants to throw the football, and done a good job of delivering. That's leadership. That's what you want out of your quarterback. Not only the rah-rah stuff, but the ability to make the right decisions.
And a gain of 16 on the play. First down at the 15-yard line. Chris T. Jones and Kenny Shedd are now the wide receivers. Gannon hangs off to Kaufman, shut off inside, comes back to the left side, across the 10, down to about the 8, maybe the 7-yard line.
And that was all Kaufman on that play. Took off to the right, it was all blocked up, cut back to the left, put a great move on the outside coverage guy and cut back inside, and that was all him. It was stopped up, but he made some positive gain out of it.
Half of Napoleon Kaufman's yardage as an Oakland Raider has been on cutback type runs. He's dangerous. He was dangerous at Washington doing that, and he continues to be dangerous in the NFL as a cutback runner.
2nd down and a couple. Gannon to Kaufman. Kaufman, a couple of inside-out moves. He goes to about the 3-yard line. Rams lead it 10-0, and the Raiders are threatening to cut. Keith Lyle with a tackle for the 2nd straight time.
And Charlie, here's where the Raiders really want to get better at. Inside the 10-yard line, inside the 5-yard line. They only rushed for 6 TDs last year. He's got to be the low in the league by far. And they want to get this a little bit better inside that scoring territory, especially with the run game.
First down, goal to go. They spot the ball down at the 4-yard line. And it is Kaufman who gets the cuts back, goes to the 1, does not go in.
It's a good job, though, by Napoleon of running tough down inside the 5. One of the reasons that John Gruden brought in Zach Crockett was to be a short yardage and goal line runner. Zach Crockett's not here right now. Napoleon Kaufman's got to step up and fill the void. He did on that play.
So mark the ball actually just inches away. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go. Kaufman has it. Was it Jordan? It was Randy Jordan who they brought in as tailback rather than Napoleon Kaufman. So it is Jordan who picks up the touchdown. I'm surprised.
Well, he's a little bit bigger than Napoleon Kaufman, probably a little tougher in between the tackles.
Good job by John Ritchie that time, number 40, of leaning up in there. And you're absolutely right.
Kaufman has it. Was it Jordan? It was Randy Jordan who they brought in as tailback rather than Napoleon Kaufman. So it is Jordan who picks up the touchdown. I'm surprised.
Well, he's a little bit bigger than Napoleon Kaufman, probably a little tougher in between the tackles.
Good job by John Ritchie that time, number 40, of leaning up in there. And you're absolutely right, Jim. Jordan weighs 35 pounds more than Napoleon Kaufman, so a little bit more beef down on the goal line.
Yeah, but Napoleon got him there.
I know, but that's not the way it works.
It's a team sport.
It's a team sport here.
You sacrifice for one another.
That only matters in contract talks, Charlie.
That's right. A high snap and a failed attempt.
And that's not a good sign with a new kicker.
No. So the score remains the St. Louis Rams 10 and the Oakland Raiders 6. We'll be back with a kickoff in a moment. It is fielded at the 3-yard line by Tony Horn to the 15, out to the 20, the 25, across the 30, and down around the 30-yard line. An excellent return for Tony Horn. Kenny Shedd makes the tackle. We'll step aside. We'll be back in a moment. Rams with the ball. Kurt Warner now their quarterback. Chad Levitt is in. And now let's go back to that muffed extra point. High snap, yeah.
It was a high snap, but it was still handable. He should have been able to get that ball down in time for the kick.
That's why when I coached special teams, I never wanted the punter to be the holder. Quarterback or a wide receiver, because they got better hands than a punter. No disrespect to Aragus, but I just think a guy's got to have better hands. That's the holder.
Were you a holder, Jim?
No, they would never let me hold.
You didn't have good hands?
I've got great hands.
Who was that special teams coach?
Double tight end on the set. Rams from their own 34-yard line. Pass is complete and caught on the run for the first down. Torrey Holt pulls it in. Kickers have been known to do some handiwork on footballs. The NFL says, no, you can't do that anymore. And George Atkinson has that story. George?
Charlie, we just saw mishandle extra point, and it could be due to the fact that it's the new ball is called a K ball. As you can see here, there's a special K on this ball, and it's a new ball is put in for kicking, punting, and kicking off. Back to you, Charlie.
Special K? That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Running game is stopped. That's Chad Levitt, who is stuffed on.
Going back to the K-ball, one of the reasons is that a lot of coaches
don't use any names.
No, I won't.
No names.
Coaches felt that the kickers were doctoring the ball on the sidelines to give them an advantage, especially the home team, when they were kicking the ball.
And they were.
But these balls are harder, and the kickers now think there's going to be about 10 yards less distance per punt and kick this year.
And after this play, we'll find out what they were doing to the ball. Loss of a yard, second down and 11.
Okay.
Back down game. Levitt again. George Atkinson, your comment?
Yes, at some point in the game, you'll see that the ball will start to get a little bit softer as they kick it more. There are only 12 balls here, so the balls will get a little bit softer. Back in the old days, they used to take these balls, and the home teams would take them, and sometimes they would do some strange things with them, Charlie, such as put them in microwaves. Some of the guys were reported sleeping with them. Some strange things with footballs to get them broken in. Back to you, Charlie.
I can understand the microwaves, but I don't understand your second statement at all. Third down. Kurt Warner, the quarterback, stands in, throws, has a man open, right over the middle. Pass is complete to Azhaki.
That was more of a protection completion than anything else. He had a lot of time back there to stand there without any pressure on him to find his open receiver. You got to put more pressure on him. The Raiders realize that, but he's able to stand there a pretty long time and find a guy coming across the field.
And you saw across the bottom of the screen the yellow flag, and they're going to bring it back.
Maybe that's why he had so much time.
It's on Fred Miller, the right tackle, holding. That does give you a bit more time, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So mark the ball now at the St. Louis 38-yard line. We have 5 minutes and 15 seconds and counting, time remaining in the first half. And the Rams are up by a score of 10-6. They completely dominated the first quarter. And the second quarter has been fairly even, or evening out a bit, you might say. Third down and 20. Forty-yard line, and that's going to be it. Levitt pulls it in. K.D. Williams, who has that fumble recovery in the ball game. The Raiders defense holds, and that means that Rick is going to kick it away.
And a year ago, the Oakland Raiders led the National Football League in third down defense by only allowing 26% conversion. One of the reasons is the great nickel package, and part of that package is the dime package that you just saw in that last play.
Number 23, Darian Gordon, is the return man. Good kick. And it's going to go out of bounds. So that stops the clock. 4:13 left in the first half. We'll be back in just a moment.
leading them to the championship in Europe.
And he comes out throwing. Now he scrambles, had a little time. And he throws along the sideline, but he's going to be, the receiver is out of bounds. That was Chris T. Jones. Now, Barnes went to school this offseason in the NFL Europe World League. He graduated at the top of his class with the league championship. In just 2 quarters, he completed 12 of 16 passes for 204 yards for his Frankfurt Galaxy. Defeated the Barcelona Dragons by a score of 38-24.
But they think there's a lot of potential in this kid, Charlie.
Just a straight handoff to Randy Jordan. Stinchcomb, number 74, battling Mo Collins for that starting left tackle spot.
Now he comes out of the University of Georgia. He was the #1 draft choice by the Raiders. He's 10 pounds, but when you look at him, he looks like he's about 275. This guy is an outstanding prospect. He's a 3.8 student at Georgia. He's the perfect, ideal, body and mind offensive lineman.
Tipped incomplete. Jeremy Brigham could not pull it down. Pass was a little tall, but was catchable.
And you know, one last thing, he played left tackle at the University of Georgia in a passing system. Here he sets up, does a good job with his hands. It looks like they're dancing a little bit, but it really is football. But he keeps his feet moving, and he takes the rusher on past Pat Barnes. Excellent clinic teaching by Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach.
3rd down and 15, the ball at the 12-yard line. Barnes steps forward, throws incomplete. Horace Copeland, the intended receiver. We've got 2 flags dropped, one just outside the 5 and one inside the 5.
And for a young kid like Pat Barnes, to go in there in a long yardage situation, back up to your own goal line is a tough thing for him. And, you know, if he could come through, fine. If not, you know, the coaches realize what's going on down there.
Number 62. Hip is declined.
Holding on Adam True, it is declined.
Penalty against Oakland declined.
So it will be 4th down. And that means that Leo Aragus will kick it away to Oz Hopkins.
Now here's an area where a lot of these young players have got to shine tonight to make this football team. Running down on kicks is vital, and your ability to make it on special teams determines whether you make the team or not.
Taken on the run at the 46-yard line, and then dropped around the 43-yard line. K.D. Williams was again there. He's having a good ball game as that fumble and a couple of key plays. Tickets or purchase tickets online at www.fasttickets.com. And here come the Rams. Over the middle, and the toss is just a little bit behind Roland Williams, or it would have been a big gainer for St. Louis.
St. Louis is doing a great job tonight of bringing the wideouts in behind the linebackers and in front of the safeties. They're doing a good job of finding what we call the hole in the zone. The backers have got to take a little bit deeper drop and recognize play action pass a little bit faster.
The Rams leading by 4. The score is 10-6, and we have just over 3 minutes time remaining in the first half. Kurt Warner, the quarterback for the Rams, pump fake, spins out, sets the screen, and then misses his receiver. Grabs the air and snap, gets the pass away, and he is on target. Tony Horn pulls it in. A big gainer.
See what I mean there, Jim? That they're working behind the backers on that. And obviously the quarterback.
Cover guys and making big plays.
First down at the 22-yard line. A gain of 20 yards on the play. And the Rams are marching again. Chad Levitt gets the call.
Chad.
They're coming. Kurt Warner has pressure. He throws, pass is complete. Goes to the near side. That is Derek Harris who pulls it in. And let's go down to George Atkinson. George?
Yeah, Charlie, I know we're seeing some underneath patterns that's being developed now by the Rams, and they're easily hit. I think that's due to the first half. So easy for Terre Haute to get behind the secondary. I think the safeties have backed up some, and it's making an underneath path available to catch now. Back to you, Charlie.
All right, good observation. The Oakland Raiders have taken a timeout, so we stop the clock, and we'll step aside. We'll be back in just a moment.
The game against a different colored jersey, and then the coaches can evaluate where he's at in terms of his progress. This is great work for both teams tonight.
3rd down and 5, 3 wide receivers. Great one-hand grab that is pulled in by Tony Horn. And it's going to be close to the first down. Let's see where they're going to mark it.
You might have a little play action.
You fake and throw to the end zone?
They did that in the first half. This time they ran it.
Diving over the top. And it's going to be close.
See, now who do you give the confidence to? Maybe the Raider defense.
Maybe the Raiders.
Instead of the Ram offense after a real good defensive stand by the Raiders.
Raiders have held the Rams on 4th down and 1, led by Katie Williams.
You know what, though? If you look at NFL stats, there's been a dramatic increase in the amount of teams going for it on 4th down. This is all the defensive line, though, of the Oakland Raiders.
The hand is to Jordan. He slips through and picks up close to 10 yards. We have 1:22 and counting. Time remaining in the first half.
Now, this is great practice for Pat Barnes to be able to engineer the 2-minute no-huddle drill. Something you don't get in practice because of the game adrenaline.
2nd down and 1.
And mistakes like that, like Matt Stenchcombe that time moving, you don't get in practice.
But what I like about this situation, the game is still close. You've got a lot riding on the game for these younger players, especially Pat Barnes, or in the Rams case, Kurt Warner, where the game is close. It's not a blowout one way or the other. People have to play defenses straight up. They can't around because of a lopsided score.
Website. It's easy to find. Remember, just Raiders.com. 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs in this set, and a blitz is underway, and the pass is overthrown, and a flag comes down. We may have pass interference call. Pass interference down further. So it is automatic first down. Again, throws into double coverage, and it is almost caught. Forrest Copeland could not handle it. A little juggling try. 2nd and 10, 4 wide receivers. And the pitch to Jordan. Jordan has the corners out to the 30-yard line. Well, he's still about 2.5, maybe 3 yards shy of the first down.
We're all at the same time.
3rd down. Little play action. Comes back, throws to the outside. Pass is complete to the fullback, John Ritchie.
And although they were ensuring the first down by throwing it short.
42 seconds left in the first half. Raiders trailing by 4. Steps away, makes another decision, heads for the sideline, stops the clock. Good move. I like that.
Yeah, you can make a play. You can make something happen.
2nd down and 6, 40-yard line. 3-step drop. Deep. Oh, whoa. Kenny Shedd is dead. Oh, boy.
Ron Carpenter, number 24, just came across and made a big-time hit. And that's why receivers sometimes don't want to go down the middle of the field. And Kenny Shedd does a great job of trying to find the ball on the skinny post. But Carpenter is the right safety there, and he just times it perfectly.
It was a great throw by Pat Barnes,
Yes.
a great read outside. He was able to come off and lay that lick on Kenny Shedd.
3rd down and 6. 29 seconds left, first half. Drops it out to the right flat, has the first down, goes to Jeremy Brigham. Ball comes out and goes out of bounds. Here's the kick. And here is the kick to Hakeem. Takes it back at the 6-yard line. And he's going to be out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. We just get a couple of yards on the return. The Rams will have the ball, but they'll have only 10 seconds left to go in the half. And also, one of the reasons they had so much trouble, they're going to down the ball. Jim, do you like the use of replay?
I still do not. You know, I just have not been able to get used to it.
Are you of the old school?
I'm afraid so. Because in the old system where you had to wait forever for a decision, and you know that you rob a team of momentum,
yes,
or you help another team out who's in trouble.
Yep, that's right. All right, that is the end of the first half. Atkinson, he's with John Gruden. George.
Yes, thank you, Charlie. I'm here with Coach John Gruden. Coach, I know there were two things you were concerned about. First exhibition game, that was execution and tempo. First half, do you think you accomplished that?
We got a long ways to go. There were some good signs towards the end of the half, but dropped too many passes, can't put the ball down for an extra point. Got to get after their quarterback. Got to listen to the hard count. Those are areas we got to concentrate on in the second half.
Is Pat Barnes coming back as the quarterback second half?
He'll be back in the second half. We just got to get him to settle down and stand in the pocket. We've got some people open, I think, down the field, and hopefully he finds them in the second half.
Okay, thank you for your time. Charlie, back to you.
All right.
Have a decisive amount of yardage more than the Raiders.
Here we go with the second half kickoff. Randy Jordan and Calvin Branch are the deep backs on the return, and it is Randy Jordan as he comes out to the 15, the 20, across the 25, and he'll be down around the 28-yard line. Let's go down to George Atkinson for his thoughts.
Thank you, Charlie. I think one of the things that was most noticeable in the first half is that the Raiders secondary was playing quite tentative. I think one of the adjustments we will see coming back in the second half is that the Raiders secondary will become a little bit more aggressive. Back to you, Charlie.
George, does that depend upon the defenses that are called, or is that an attitude?
You know, I think it's about the defenses that were called. I just talked to Willie Shaw, and one of the things he says when I asked him about the aggressiveness is that it's the calls that he's making. So I think these guys, it's the calls that the defense coordinator is making right now.
So he's going to make some more aggressive calls then?
Well, he said maybe not this game, but maybe next game. So he didn't get indication, Charlie, that we would see any more any calls that would be any different than what he called the first half.
All right, thank you, George.
One of the things you want to do on offense and defense is not make it too complex, so you allow the young players to go out and play. You don't want to inhibit them by forcing them to think too much, because to me it's tough to evaluate a guy who's not playing full speed because he wants to perform the proper assignments.
Rashaan Salam is in the lineup for the Oakland Raiders, and he has the ball. Fakes to the outside, comes back in.
And they want to take a long look at Rashaan back there. He's had some troubles. He's been out of football for a year.
Actually, almost 2 years.
Just about,
because of injuries. Yeah.
And here's that the Tyrone Wheatley, Napoleon Kaufman, Rashaan Salam, Zellers, Crockett, all coming out in the same year.
The Raiders own the backs of the 1995 draft. I think that's a fair assumption. It's amazing, though, how that all fell into place for them.
Pat Barnes is the quarterback. Play action fake to Salam, rolling. That is dangerous.
Yeah, that's certainly a young man's mistake.
Yeah. Got to learn just to take your loss, right?
You take the loss, and although he was fourth down, he wanted to go. But you can't make mistakes like that. That could have popped up in the air and could have been run back for a touchdown. Here he tries to get outside number 57, but he just can't do it, and he still tries to come up with a play. And believe me, just go down, punt the ball away, play defense, get the ball back, and make something happen next time you get the ball.
And Leonard Little, number 57, is a great athlete. So that's a little bit of a mismatch in the open field to ask a quarterback to get around a great athlete like him.
The O'Hara Goose kicking to Oz Hakeem. Hakeem has it at the 28-yard line. A little bit of ground, turns back. He does a full circle. And he picks up a total of a couple of yards on the play. That's it. The Rams have the ball when we come back. As we come back, the ball is on the 30-yard line in the possession of the St. Louis Rams. And during halftime, Bruce Allen was talking about the nebulous now, I guess is as good a word, any situation with the NFL in Los Angeles. What are your reactions?
Well, I still think Los Angeles needs a franchise down there, an NFL franchise. in that large market, and who it's going to be remains to be seen, but it's an open market that should have an NFL team.
And I think that the new franchise is going to end up in Houston. So there's going to be a ton of rumors about the Raiders going to Los Angeles. And obviously you look at these two franchises, the Oakland politicians did not give the Raiders what they promised. The St. Louis politicians gave the Rams what they promised. So I think we're looking at a dichotomy of moving situations here.
Rams with the ball at their own 30-yard line. Chad Levitt, we got a bundle of work in the second half of the second quarter, carries it here, and he's out to the 39-yard line. So he's going to pick up 9 yards on the play, and it'll be 2nd down and 1.
You know what, though, Charlie, going back to that discussion, it's facilities, it's stadiums, it's, you know, guaranteeing crowds. I mean, that's why you move franchises, and it's
parking lots.
It's parking lots. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But all teams, and obviously the Raiders too, are fan-friendly, and they want to do what's best for the fans.
2nd down and 1. Levitt again with the call. Has a nice hole open up on the right side. That offensive line for the Rams doing a superb job in the ball game. Both pass protection in the first quarter and now for the running game in the second half. Marcus Ray with the tackle.
I think it's a great way. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Excuse me, Jim. I think it's going to be offside against the Raiders for lining up offsides. Sometimes when a young player goes into the game, and that time I think it was Tony Bryant, he's so excited about playing the game, he forgets where to line up or where he's lined up.
And that's a good way to take a lot of pressure off the quarterback by starting that running game, getting some good gains on 1st down.
Kurt Warner, the quarterback for the Rams. Trent Green had an excellent first half. Turned as if he wanted to go with a play action fake. Came up then throwing to Derek Harris. How does Warner look to you?
Kurt Warner is a lot like Pat Barnes in the sense that he's got a little bit of antsy feet. He doesn't quite stay in the pocket as long as he probably should. Having trouble reading the defenses on where to go right away. Same kind of problems. You know, you're young. You know, the only way you get experience is by playing.
Second down and 8. Blitz is coming. It's picked up. Levitt again, the ball carrier, and he's going to go to the 40-yard line. And then about 3 yards shy of the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and 3. Jim, before we get away from that topic, what is the difference from a quarterback standpoint, seeing what he's seeing here versus seeing it in practice or in training camp?
Well, I think the speed of everything in front of him, it's all, no matter how hard you practice, it's much more accelerated when you get to an actual game. People are flying around that field. And from here, from preseason to the regular season, it's even more so. So the speed of everything happening in front of you, you got to make a quick decision like that.
And there's no way that you can create that.
Very, very difficult. No, I don't think you can.
All right, 3 wide receivers. Pass is complete. It's Chad Lewis. The Rams seem, and Artie, you mentioned this, the Rams seem more ready to play a game.
Well,
that makes sense?
Yes, they are, and because they had a 3 or 4 day workout against another NFL team, as opposed to just working against yourself all the time. The Raiders this year, for the first time, have not worked against another team. They usually work out against the Dallas Cowboys. That did not take place this year. But in 2 weeks, the Raiders will be caught up to the Rams.
First down, 25-yard line. And we've got whistles and flags.
It's not over, you know, it's not over yet.
Here comes the blitz, steps forward. A poor decision.
We got rid of the ball. He had a safety blitz. They couldn't pick it up. I think he had no choice but to get rid of the ball.
Okay.
Big old John Kursky comes up inside number 68. And here's a 29-year-old guy. It's his 2nd year in the NFL out of Sacramento State. He played here at the Rams in 1996. He was with Amsterdam in 1999 in NFL Europe. And I don't believe that 350.
350.
He's about 370 when you stand next to him.
2nd down and 5. Levitt again.
You know, we talk about defensive linemen having a tough job. Now watch Kirchke here, number 68. He just gets wrestled to the ground. Now that is a pin in if I've ever seen one. Nice job by the offensive lineman. When big old John gets that 350 pounds going in one direction, it's hard for him to stop. Good block though on offense.
3rd down and 1, Harris and Levitt. Or the running backs, double tight end set. Play action fake, has a man open right flat, and he hits Derek Harris. They're pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, it just seems to me, as Artie mentioned, that they're just much more prepared at this stage of the preseason. The Raiders, and here it's a good play action pass. Everybody bites. The back is able to get out in the flat with a linebacker chasing him from behind, and that's exactly how it was designed to work.
Bucky Brooks comes up and makes a nice tackle, but Eric Barton, number 50, the rookie out of Maryland's got to cover that guy. He just didn't see it. But again, as you said, that'll come with experience because he's a talented young player.
7-yard line, 1st down, goal to go. The pitch is to Levitt. Looks for the corner, dives to about the 1-yard line, maybe the 2. Let's see where they mark it. Marcus Ray moved up to make the stop.
And that was a good tackle by Marcus Ray, hitting the big back like Chad Levitt with a full head of steam heading for the end zone.
Now Marcus Ray's another one of the interesting young players that the Raiders have. He's a free agent. He was Charles Woodson's roommate at Michigan. He's played in big games, and he's a guy that I think has a chance to make this Raider club. He's a tough guy, and he's excellent on special teams.
2nd down, inside the 2-yard line. Here's Levitt again. And he leans and he has it. He has got the touchdown. So Chad Levitt scoring for the Rams.
Hey, I got to make some corrections here.
Wilkins with the extra, and it is good. The Rams lead. They continue to lead. They stretch their margin. We'll be back in a moment. 7:43 time remaining. We are in the 3rd quarter as the Rams get set to kick off. Tyrone Wheatley, who was signed this week by Oakland, is in the ball game as a kickoff return man, number 47. He's on the near side, and Calvin Branch, number 27, is on the far side.
Charlie, did you know that Wheatley is the 7th Raider who went to the University of Michigan? Ann Arbor Raiders. 7 Michigan players are on the Raider roster right now.
And here is Wheatley on the return across the 30 out to around the 32-yard line. 7:32 left to go in the 3rd as Wheatley comes out. We'll step aside. Back in a moment. At 3:30 in the 30. All right, let's see now what Pat Barnes can do if he can come back and answer the touchdown the Rams just put on the scoreboard. Little play action fake, and he is right on target. Isaiah Mustafa.
And he's a young kid they got from New Orleans this offseason, and he's not ranked as high or as quick as some of the other players they signed, like Jones. But you know, he's got some potential out there. But this is a good test for Pat Barnes. They put him in a lot of different situations. Now he's falling a little bit further behind. Can he bring this ball club? What they want to see. How does he perform under this kind of pressure?
He picked up the 1st down. Blitz is coming. Is Rashaan Salam. And he is upended. Lands at the 49-yard line. He'll pick up about 6 yards along the way. It should be 2nd down and 4.
Great job that time by Dre Bly of coming up in corner force. Shalom goes over the top, but he holds on to the ball. Now here's a guy that I would define as being rusty. It's like we talked about. He hasn't very much for 2 years. He was maligned, so to speak, in Chicago, and all he wants is another opportunity, which the Raiders are giving him because he's got some talent.
2nd down and 4. Here he is again. Cuts back, and he'll pick up the 1st down. A couple of nice runs.
Oh, yeah. People forget about him. He was just a great, great player at Colorado. Was taken in the first round by the Bears. Won the Heisman. But in high school, he only played 8-man football at La Jolla Day Country High School, whatever it is.
La Jolla Country Day.
Oh, excuse me. Well, that's why I was a bad recruiter. I couldn't remember the school's
Well,
name.
you didn't go to the school that played 8-man football. But
no,
that's right.
But he was a highly recruited guy.
Yeah, and he was a sensation in 8-man football,
Yes.
too, in high school.
I hope so.
Boy.
I hope so.
Yes. Here's the fake, the rollout, and the completed pass. Randy Palmer.
And you see, Jim, that time Barnes took your advice. He didn't try to out-athlete Leonard Little and just threw the ball.
Pulled up and stopped.
Yes.
But last time I don't think he had the angle to do that. This time he was able to use a far enough separation between him and Leonard Little where he could get the ball off.
Perfect.
Now on this drive, Oakland is looking like they're ready to play a game.
Right. No, but you don't think that offensive line and that offense got talked to on the sidelines a little bit about the mistakes they're making and not being able to score.
First down, 26-yard line. Play action fake to Salam. Deep over the middle, misses everybody.
These are the areas when you get inside a scoring area, inside the 30, inside the 20-yard line, where you can't afford to make mistakes. Here's where you got to be your sharpest, not turn the ball over, and get the ball into the end zone.
Pat looked indecisive that time on where to throw, and that's why I think he short-armed it a little bit, not knowing exactly where to throw. But again, that's part of the deal. It's confusing. He's got a lot of pressure on him, but I think that's what was going through his mind.
Well, I see it the opposite, but I'll get to that later.
Here's Salam. They're going to say the ball was down, I believe.
One of the criticisms of Shalom has been the fact that he fumbles a great deal. And I think he's done a great job in training camp of holding on to the football, and hopefully that fumble label is now behind him.
But to get back to Pat Barnes, I thought he was just locked in on one receiver because he tried to hit that seam earlier. He was looking for the same seam up the middle, and he just locked on a little bit too long.
But that's common with young quarterbacks, right?
Of course.
How do you stop doing that?
Practice.
Third down and 5. Little play action fake. And we've got flags.
I think it's going to be a legal procedure against the Raiders. It looks like somebody moved prior to the snap.
Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Greg Skrepenak, big old guy who was with the Raiders and then left, went to Carolina as a free agent, and now is back with the Raiders. He has worked very, very hard this offseason, going from about 370 pounds down to about 330. Hopefully he'll make the football team because the effort has certainly been there, and he's big enough.
Third down and 10. Has time. Buys some more time.
Well, there you go. A little bit of decision.
The stop of the intended receiver.
I think one of the three.
Was it Happy Feet, or was he just trying to find somebody?
I think he was trying to make a play. He had time at the beginning.
Yeah.
He looked downfield, couldn't find anybody open, or didn't see the entire field to go to the guy. When you read the defense, usually it tells you who to go to. And if they were in a man defense that time, and it should tell you right away that normally one of your outside receivers can beat his man.
Michael Houston, 43-yard field goal attempt. Good snap. It's leaning to the right, and it is no good. Wide right. Score remains. Rams 17, Raiders 6. His numbers are good thus far. 11 of 14 for 85 yards. Levitt as a ball carrier, carries for 45 yards and a touchdown.
Warner's one of those quarterbacks that doesn't look flashy, doesn't look like he's getting the job done, but he does get it done. He's a productive guy. Isn't that right?
Well, he's been very efficient.
Yeah,
nothing spectacular.
No, that's what I mean. He's just not a flashy-looking guy.
Rams now have Justin Watson and James Hodgins as their running back. He sets the throw. He goes deep. Into coverage. Is knocked away by the intended receiver, Tony Horn. Now this is Hall of Fame weekend in Canton, Ohio, and the enshrinees, they were enshrined today: Eric Dickerson, Lawrence Taylor, Ozzie Newsome, Tom Mack, and Billy Shaw. And they were all over Eric Dickerson last night at the big dinner that he was going to have to speak, and he didn't want to speak. They said, yes, and you're going to be the first one to speak. And all the enshrinees were all over. Eric was saying, I'm not going to speak. But he did speak, and he was eloquent. 2nd down and 10. A spin on the inside handoff to Justin Watson. Now, Eric Dickerson. One of the most dynamic runners ever to wear the silver and black or the gold and blue. Eric Dickerson was enshrined along with the legends today in Canton, Ohio. Everyone remembers Dickerson's record-breaking year with the Rams, 1984. He rushed for 2,105 yards, eclipsing the mark of O.J. Simpson. But some have forgotten that the sleek, smooth Dickerson led the Raiders in rushing in 1992. He broke free for over 1,300 yards in his NFL career, 3rd all-time in league history, behind only Walter Payton and Barry Sanders. 3rd down. On target. Oh, yes, and he held on to it. That was Kevin Knox. And he took a hit.
Took a big-time hit. You know, going back to Eric Dickerson, if I may, for a second.
Sure.
When I was at the Rams, I loved him. I thought he was one of the toughest guys I've ever been around. And quite frankly, this Ram franchise has never been the same since they traded him.
To go back a little bit, though, with Kurt Warner on that long pass to Tony Horn, it shows, I think, a little bit lack of strength in his arm. So that might be a drawback.
And there's another drawback when you trip. Coming back, comes up, nice recovery, completes the pass to James Hodgins. Ball at the end of the play. Raiders say they have it, and they do. Calvin Branch comes up with it.
Hey, I tell you, this has happened to so many quarterbacks. Bart Starr, Joe Namath, Johnny Unitas, Montana, you name it. But
Jim Plunkett.
What's happening?
Once or twice.
You fall down and then throw a completion?
Sometimes, but you get stepped on by either the guard or the center.
That's exactly what happened.
You get stepped on.
You get stepped on because the guard or center gets pushed back so far into the backfield that they step on your foot. You look like a fool as you fall down. But in Kurt Warner's case, he was able to come up and make a great play on it.
He did make a great play.
Yes, he did.
And Donnell Day made a great play for the Raiders that time, number 25, in knocking the ball loose. That was just a big-time defensive backfield hit.
So the Raiders take over following the fumble recovery on their own 28-yard line. 3-step drop. Quick pass over the middle is complete. Pat Barnes has now completed 5 of 11 passes. Speaking of the Hall of Fame this weekend, here are all of the Raiders who are in the Hall. Jim Otto, George Blanda, Willie Brown, Gene Upshaw, who was there this weekend, Fred Biletnikoff, Art Shell, Ted Hendricks, Al Davis, Mike Haynes, Eric Dickerson.
And you know, Willie Brown and Fred Biletnikoff coach the Raiders right now. And Jim Otto and obviously Mr. Davis are here watching the game.
Barnes going to an audible. It's almost like pass the word. Rams defense continues to change against it.
You know,
Barnes was hit just as he made the release. He was going to Chris T. Jones, and flags came flying in. I thought we had offensive motion.
You know, we have a lot of people in there, but I think the back who moved laterally. I don't think he moved towards the line of scrimmage, so I don't think that was a penalty. But I think that the lack of communication on that offensive unit was very noticeable.
Pass interference. Defense 43. First down.
Well, the home crowd doesn't like it, but
1 minute and 6 seconds. That's the time remaining in the third quarter. This, of course, the first preseason game of 1999 for the Raiders and for the Rams. And the Rams are on top. They've been leading all the way. The score is 17-6. Not a lot there, and then popping back out is Rashaan Salaam. We mentioned the fact that he has missed the year and a half, almost 2 years, and he was plagued by injuries, and he had ankle injuries and leg injuries and all that. But now his health, I'm led to believe, is what, 90%?
Yeah, and the kid has done a great job with Garrett Guimont, the strength and conditioning coach of the Raiders, of dedicating himself this offseason. He's lost about 20 pounds. He's in as good a shape, he says, as he's ever been in. At the best possible effort he can give.
2nd down and 8. We have whistles and flags.
And it's probably against the offense.
Flags on both sides of the line. I retract the statement I made earlier about
False start. Offense prior to the snap, number 88.
beginning to look like a preseason game. The quarterback. 2nd down and 13. Pressure is coming. And this one he was throwing away. A couple of flags. This was
Offense number 34. Penalty is holding. Offense number 62. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Preseason, and it didn't matter.
Third down, 13. Stands in, steps away, flags are flying, rolling, buying time, caught from behind, and out of bounds.
See, that's the one thing Barnes can. He can turn a big negative into a possible positive. He escaped danger there. And I think that's what the elite quarterbacks right now, the Brett Favres and the Steve Youngs in this league can do. And I'm not trying to compare him to them.
On the offense, number 74. Penalty is declined. It will be 4th down. That's a conclusion of the 3rd quarter.
Interesting comment.
Good. Well, we'll come down. We'll get it from you.
Okay.
Playoff. Good.
All right.
Thank you. That's a good one. As we come back, Oz Hakeem was brought down by Katie Williams, and Katie Williams, believe me, saved a touchdown. Here is a look at the kick and the return.
The great punt returner just needs a seam, and this time Hakeem finds a seam. He catches the ball, gets it up the field, and almost breaks it for a big one.
Jermaine sets up. He is hit just as he makes the release, and it will be incomplete. And that's his official welcome to the NFL. What do you know about this young man?
Well, not a whole lot, other than the fact that he led Ohio State to a lot of victories. I believe 10-1 or 11-1 last year. Real.
Jermaine gives to the running back. And there's going to be a loss of a yardage and a loss of a helmet.
Now there's a great example of 2 young players really just playing hard. That time, Juwan Armour, number 45, comes up. He was the Raiders' 7th-round draft choice out of Miami of Ohio, an outstanding tackler, and makes the play in the backfield. But Sam, number 66, another Michigan guy, kind of finishes him off. 2 young guys playing real hard, and both have a chance to make this team again because of special teams.
3rd down and 12. Jermaine now from the shotgun with 3 wide receivers. Good protection. He's quick. He steps away. He can move.
And you know how angry those defensive linemen get and have to chase them all over the field, and how tired they get. And they create a lot of problems, boy. They frustrate defensive linemen, but they were able to get him this time without being hurt by him down the field.
Good example of the speed this time of Roderick Coleman, number 91, pursuing, and the young defensive lineman. Coleman's a guy that they've moved from linebacker to defensive end because of his speed and his pass rush ability.
And Darian Gordon is the return man for the Oakland Raiders. Pretty good kick.
I say.
Taken at the 29-yard line. Heads to the far side. Slips around the corner. Across the 45. Sidesteps to the 50. A very nice return by Darian Gordon. So spot the ball at the 50-yard line where Oakland will get set to go to work. Mitch Jacoby of the Rams makes the tackle. We've got a timeout, and we'll be back in a moment. Salam is back. Play action fake to Salam. Barnes is decked from behind. Galen Hyder with the celebration. The Raiders and the Cowboys, two of the most storied franchises in NFL history, battle in a preseason contest. 762-2277. You can call right now and order your tickets or buy them online, www.fasttickets.com. Randy, the intended receiver, and you had a chat a moment ago with Rich Gannon. What did he have to say?
You know, Charlie, first I asked him if he was comfortable with the game plan and if he was comfortable playing. He said he was quite comfortable, but he made an interesting comment, and that comment was that the speed of the game is a little bit faster on turf than when it is at the practice field where he's practicing. He's practicing on grass there, and he thinks that today's field is a lot faster than what he does on grass practicing.
All right, it's 3rd down and 14. You mentioned, Jim, about the game is faster than practice. Well, it's even faster on turf. That's a pretty good pass.
It was.
Damian Douglas, the intended receiver, but I thought he threw it well, and I thought he led him and dropped it right over his shoulder.
Almost
catchable.
Yeah, just barely out of his reach, but there's a flag on the play.
And it looks like it's going to be holding, but Damian Douglas has got to keep running on that. He could have run underneath
Illegal
that.
hands to the face on the defensive team.
Oh.
5 yards. First down.
Nobody else can.
You think he could have caught that, though? I mean, I recruited him to Cal, so I can be critical of him. Do you think he could have caught that? Maybe.
Meanwhile, the scramble is on, and the Rams have the ball.
And I know Coach Gruden doesn't want to start seeing this happen with his team right now, getting very sloppy. It was an entirely missed handoff. Whose fault it was, I don't know, Pat Barnes or what, but those happen.
We'll be back.
But it's known as Bass.
Yeah, it used to be taken back. Now it's bad. Okay. That's good. All right. Okay. All right. St. Louis at the Oakland 48. 48-yard line of Oakland. The give to Justin Watson. He's going to fight his way for a couple of yards. Now let's look and see what the quarterbacks have done so far for the Rams. Jim?
Well, I think for the Rams, Trent Green and Kurt Warner did what was expected of them. You know, they put some drives together. They scored some points. They were both very efficient. Neither one really terribly outstanding. They both showed they had a grasp of the offense.
And that's all without Marshall Faulk, guys, as a running threat. So you get Marshall Faulk into this equation. This is a pretty good-looking Ram offense.
And not only the equation as a running threat, but also as an outstanding receiver.
Absolutely.
Jermaine fakes to the right, comes back, throws to the left, and has the first down as he hits Jeff Robinson.
Jermaine's pass to 45, Jeff Robinson.
See, and right now they're protecting better for Jermaine than the Raiders are protecting for Pat Barnes right now.
Jermaine hands off to the tailback, Justin Watson. He'll get to the 35, pick up a couple on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8. One of the things the Rams have done that they would normally do in a game, and I'm not sure that they really planned it that way, But they have made excellent use of the clock when they're on offense. They have really worked the clock well.
They planned it that way because Dick Vermeil wants to win. Remember we talked at the beginning about every coach has got a different objective. Well, Dick Vermeil wanted to win this game. He's got to get going. He's got to win preseason games and make everybody feel good about the upcoming season.
2nd and 8. Here comes the blitz. It's pass is intercepted. It was thrown directly to Marcus Ray. And Ray has the interception.
I think that is number 40.
I'm sorry?
Reginald Doster.
Reginald Doster, 43.
A teammate of Dante Culpepper's, and you know he does a good job of catching the ball, but the ball, quite frankly, was thrown right to him. And again, Jermaines goes back. He almost bumps into the back. He throws the ball, and I don't know if the ball tipped or not, but he throws the ball right to Doster. Now, in Doster's defense, hey, he caught it and got it up the field. That's what you're supposed to do.
Oakland from their own 43-yard line. Again is Pat Barnes.
See, and Pat Barnes can't get too down on himself right now, although he's had made a few mistakes, thrown an interception. He's got to stick with the game plan, the ball down the field, and get back in this ball game. Even though things haven't gone all that well for him, he can't get too hard on himself.
50-yard line, 2nd down and 3. Being chased, comes out to the right flat, pass is complete. And the Raiders offensively are using everybody.
You know, now this guy, Marlon Barnes, is an interesting story. Pat Barnes here does a good job of avoiding the sack again, gets the ball out to Marlon Barnes. Marlon Barnes was a free agent out of the University of Colorado, was injured most of his senior year, is an excellent talent, but just went undrafted because of the injuries and some of the running game problems they had at Colorado. He's got a future in the National Football League.
1st down, 42-yard line of the Rams. Just over 9 minutes time remaining in the game. And this one is too high. It'll go incomplete. One of the things that all the coaches are obviously aware of, but the fans also should be aware of, and that's the important dates that particularly involving the player cut down.
Well, that's the most important one, and that's the one the players all worry about. And as you can see, on August 31st, the squads have got to get down to 65. On September 5th, 53. And then on September the 10th, 49 players.
Second down and 10. Pass is complete. Mustafa pulls it in. And there are other key dates.
Well, yeah, on September the 6th, you have to declare your practice squad. 5 players can be on the practice squad. You kick off the season on the 12th and 13th that weekend, and then October 19th is the trade deadline. So the NFL really goes by the calendar in terms of what you can do by when.
Here's now the 30-yard line of the Rams. 8.5 minutes time remaining. Oakland down by 11. Barnes scrambling. Throws on the run, and it is caught. Craig Spain. Spain or Span?
Span.
Span.
Arizona State, a free agent. But a good example, again, of Pat Barnes' ability to throw the football while running and not stop in order to throw the ball. This is called running and throwing while you're running. Good concentration.
Yeah, it certainly looked that way to me.
Oh. Now, Plunk, you're being wise guy because he's a Cal product. Come on.
Ball now at the 15-yard line.
You know, you start off.
Barnes again.
You talk about, excuse me, Charlie. You talk about some quarterbacks. Some guys run, stop, and then throw. Some guys can run and throw on the run, and I think there's a difference, don't you, Jim? In seeing some of the guys around the do things. Some guys just get there, stop, and then can throw it.
Yeah, most guys throw on the run nowadays. The ones that have to stop every time to throw the ball probably aren't going to make it in the National Football League. But Pat Barnes doing a great job on this play because almost every down when he's passing, he's under duress. And he comes up with a play.
Barnes sets, throws the interception right at the goal line. Van Hiles picks it off.
See, that's what happens when you get a little bit too greedy. He wants to go for everything in the end zone, but there's a number 35 is running free underneath for an easy, or 39 for an easy reception.
That, as you see, Scott Dreisbach is loosening up on the sideline, so we expect him to be coming back in the ball game. Meanwhile, the Rams with the football. James Hodgins. Oakland is claiming a fumble. The officials are saying second down.
Well, again, you're going to start to see a lot of young Raider defenders. That time, number 58 was Belisari, Greg Belisari, who made the stop. He's a player out of Ohio State. He played for Tampa a year ago and has done a good job for the coaches in camp so far.
Gain of 3, second down and 7.
They mentioned that play is not reviewable.
Or inside, so I am not sure either. The only thing I can say is that they ruled him down before the ball came out, because possessions is also a reviewable play. For instant replay to get it out.
Third down and 4, the ball at the 20-yard line. Sam Sword was there, and he recovers it.
And there's another guy hustling to make this football team.
It looks like the ball, though, just comes out of Jermaine's hand. He goes back, he's got the ball in his hand, he pumps, and his hand goes, but the ball doesn't come with him.
He left the ball in midair. How can you do that?
Well, a lot of times, especially on AstroTurf, that ball is very slick. It's not like playing on grass where you get some dirt on it, gets some grass, and it kind of firms up. Here, it stays slick almost throughout the.
Dreisbach is the quarterback for the Oakland Raiders, his first appearance in the ball game. And he takes over with the ball at the 14-yard line. And Marlon Barnes heads to the end zone. Barnes scores the touchdown.
The offensive line made it look easy that time for Marlon Barnes. This is a 215-pounder. He takes the ball on a stretch play. The ball is handed off. He gets a good block up inside by Kelvin Eafen, the big fullback from Arizona, and he's off to the races. Good job of running. Nice block that time by Eafen.
And a good play by Dreisbach.
Absolutely. Just handed the ball off.
But he did it so well.
He did it so well.
Go for 2. If they convert for 2 points, that will pull them within 3. Field goal ties it, and we go to overtime.
Good strategic move that time by John Gruden, but also you want to be able to practice your 2-point plays in preseason.
Flair into the corner, and it is no good. Has the reception, but comes down out of the end zone.
A play like that, you've got to get in the way.
Isaiah Mustafa, the Dallas Cowboys and the Oakland Raiders. 17-12. The margin now is 5. Tony Horn is the deep back for the Rams. Michael Husted is kicking it away. Bobbles it. Fights his way out of the end. Makes 2 or 3 crucial mistakes, but then manages to at least partially save it by getting to the 5-yard line. Now let's look at the Raiders' schedule. At their own 6-yard line. Justin Watson. And Watson pops open a big play and gets them away from the shadows of their goal post.
And as the defense. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
half of the schedule with Denver, a playoff team, of course, last season. San Diego, Kansas City, Seattle, Tennessee Titans, Tampa Bay, San Diego, Kansas City. That's a tough schedule.
The NFL's most difficult schedule, based on winning percentage of a year ago, is the Oakland Raiders schedule this year. Very, very difficult.
Watson picking up a total of 20 yards on that last scamper. And it's first down. He gets the call again and is taken out of bounds.
You know, it's 3 out of 4 away at the beginning and also 3 out of 4 away at the end.
Ball at the 31-yard line, second down and 5. Joe Germain, the quarterback. He hands off to the first back through, and that's James Hodgins.
You know, right now the Rams are trying to run the clock out. The Raiders, you know, it's up to them to make them punt the ball away or get a turnover, but they need that ball back desperately with only 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. So now you got to see what the defense can do for you.
Third down and 4, and the Rams are using up as much time as possible in the huddle. They're not in a big rush to get to the line of scrimmage.
And they're trying to establish toughness, and I like what Dick Vermeil is doing here because he wants them to pound the ball, as you said, at this Raider defense, but he's also trying to establish his own team's toughness.
Third down and 4. Blitz is coming. It's picked up. Here's the pitch to the outside. Helmet comes loose, and a first down. Justin Watson. Watson is making a strong bid to make this ball club.
What they're doing, what Dick Vermeil and Artie said that, you know, they want to do to make themselves a tougher football team by running the ball, getting out of trouble. One of the things that a team has trouble doing in situations like this is running the clock out. Usually you have to punt the ball away, but if this way against another ball club, you can maintain possession of the ball, not have to give up the ball, not worry about surrendering a victory.
And a gain of 13 yards on the play. Greg Belisari is shaken up a bit and is going to the sideline.
You know, as a defensive coach in a situation, pursuit because he got caught up inside on his blitz. But that's a chance you take if you're Willie Shaw as a defensive coordinator. You want to make something happen.
Ball now at the 45-yard line. A gain of 13 yards on that last play by Watson. Blitz is coming again. Ball comes out. Raiders have the football. Quickly covering the ball.
Johnny Harris,
number 44.
Yeah, number 44. And Charlie, that was an example of a run blitz inside that somebody knocked the ball up and it came right into Johnny Harris's lap. So it's either feast or famine when you're having a run blitz inside. That time it worked to perfection. As you see, Sword, number 66, knocked the ball loose because the ball was run up inside at the blitz.
So Oakland now has the football with 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Time remaining in the ball game, and they trail by 5. And they have it at the 48-yard line of the Rams. Dreisbach sets, throws. A one-hand grab, cannot quite pull it in. Isaiah Mustafa almost had the extended one-hand grab to pull it back. Just couldn't pull it off.
And that was almost a big play. It was just about literally perfectly thrown. And it would have taken a great catch to come up.
Yes.
But a great effort on Mustafa's part.
And you know, that's another reason why you want bigger wide receivers in today's football, because he's all a 6'2", 6'2 and a half. And you know, it just gives you a little bit more length in terms of catching those passes.
Dreisbach looking left, coming back right, goes deep, and it is incomplete. He gets a flag. Damian Douglas, the intended receiver, and the flag is down right at the 10-yard line.
You know, and the thing about Dreisbach, that last pass, this pass he just threw, to the pass to Mustafa, the one he just threw with the pass interference, were both correct decisions. He read the defense. They put it back in motion out wide. He saw that Damian Douglas had one-on-one coverage, and he threw it to the right guy. This guy's a heads-up quarterback.
So the ball is now at the 9-yard line. It is first down and goal to go. And the Rams, who I think have been outplayed in the ball game by the Rams, have an opportunity to win this.
Well,
you never give up.
You never give up.
Pounding away.
But you also got to take out of these games things besides the W's and L's, as we know.
Marlon Barnes again, as he was aiming for the corner and just couldn't quite get there.
It looks like a flag, probably holding.
Now remember, with the penalty, the Raiders were at the 9-yard line. Dick Hantak, the referee.
Offense, number 49. 10 yards, repeat the down.
That's on Marcus Hinton. That is costly.
Oh, you bet. Pat Barnes throwing the interception on the goal line. Now that big mistake when it was they were getting close to score again.
Okay, you're going to see number 49 here just reach out, Marcus Hinton, with his left hand and just drag the defender down, which is Charlie Clemens from the Rams. You can't do that. If you're going to hold, you better hold inside so the official can't see it.
First down, goal to go, but the ball is now back at the 18-yard line. Dreisbach steps away from a rusher, puts an inside-out move. Not a bad running back.
Hey, he's a young, enthusiastic kid right now, getting his opportunity to play football.
I like the way you describe that, because after he's been beat up a while, he's not going to take those chances.
No, after you get in the league a few years, you start to go down when you see those big guys, but not Dreisbach here. He takes it up the field. He could have gone down there, but no, he puts another move on a defender again, and he takes it right up the field. It was a great effort on his part. A lot of guts. But as you said, as they get older, you tend to go down a little bit more.
Another Wolverine. And, you know, the one advantage he does have, though, he's been around the entire spring, where this guy, Pat Barnes, was over in Europe playing in NFL Europe.
And we come to the 2-minute warning. We've got 2 minutes left in the ball game. Don't go away. Back in a moment. Second and goal to go, 11-yard line. Blitz is coming, and he's sacked. They sent everybody.
Yeah, they did. That's a good call by their defensive coaching staff, because you got to put pressure on quarterbacks down there, and especially young quarterbacks. And I don't blame Dreisbach for going down there. He had no chance to get that ball off. And John Gruden, an ex-quarterback himself, knows that.
Alton Weaver gets the sack for the Rams. Here it is.
You know, the one thing that that Dreisbach, although he's lacking experience, you know, has to learn is that you know they're all coming. You got to get rid of the ball right away.
Do you have a hot receiver in that case?
Well, it depends on the protection, yeah. Charlie. If it's picked up, I don't have a hot receiver, but you still know you're not going to have much time with everybody coming. But it depends on the blocking scheme.
Yeah. Or do you just?
I find a guy right away and get rid of the ball.
Yeah. Either that or throw it in the stand.
As far as you can.
Yeah. Okay.
Let a fan intercept it.
Keep the ball. Bit of memorabilia. The ball now at the 16-yard line. Third down. Go.
But sometimes being a little bit further back, you have more room for routes.
And the Rams want a timeout.
Looks like they didn't have enough players on the field. Sometimes when you substitute in these situations on offense and defense, you're minus a guy.
It was up in the booth. And they can call as many as they want. Anything they see that they want to have reviewed. Play action fake, rolls right. Has an open field, throws, hits the man. 5-yard line, and he bounds, and it's Marcus Hinton, the tight end.
That was an old-fashioned bootleg play with the backside tight end. This time, Marcus Hinton, who's 265 pounds, coming across on a drag route, and Dreisbach did a nice job of getting the ball to him.
What I liked about Dreisbach on that play, though, he got outside very quickly, but he had to wait for Hinton to come across the field.
Absolutely.
So he had the patience to wait for the receiver to get to the other side of the field before he threw it, and he made a fine throw.
And the Oakland Raiders take a timeout.
You know, I'd get a pre-read before the snap.
Yeah.
I'll almost determine who I'm going to go to anyway.
What's a pre-read?
Look at how they line up, see what if there's inside. I know it's a blitz coming, so that I've got an idea where to go when the ball is snapped.
All right. Nice touchdown. Oh, I like the way that he threw the ball. He didn't drill it.
He didn't drill it.
He just had his man there, and he just so smoothly. Well done, Scott Dreisbach.
Plus, by dropping back, you have more choices.
Marcus Hinton with the touchdown.
And it looked like it was a pick play that time to get Hinton out of there. It looked he was lined up as a wingback. Nice design. He delayed a little bit and ran a slant inside. Now you're going to see the Raiders go for 2 here. So if they do make it, they're up 20-17, which means that the Rams have got to kick a field goal then to tie it. Again, good decision by the coaching staff of the Raiders, but this is great practice to make these decisions at the end of the game.
And it's even great practice for Coach Gruden.
That's what I mean.
Last year was only his first year coaching. He said, you know, he was in charge of, you know, only receivers at one point, offense, and now he's in charge of everything. And these are crucial decisions for him to make as the head coach.
Raiders leading by 1. First time they've led in the ball game. First time they've led this year. Rolls, throws, and it is incomplete. So the margin is going to stay 1.
3 guys.
Right, but that's part of the nickel package, you know. But again, you know, we talk about prevent, we talk about being very, very deep. When he does that, it's a pretty tight coverage.
Tony Horn on the return. And a good one, and he gets out of bounds. Outside of the 35-yard line. Mark.
Very well done.
I'm on it every day. Coming across, little drag pattern is Donald Sellers. He is hit by Joe Germain. He goes out of bounds, stops the clock now with 1:25. And then out of timeouts. Raiders are out of timeouts. Rams have 1 remaining. This one is just flat drop by Justin Watson.
You know, the one have 4 deep, which is, I think, an excellent defense to be in this particular situation.
Jermaine sets, throws, pass is caught, and he at the 50-yard line. Kevin Knox hangs on, and he hangs on to the first down. So the ball at the 50 yards out in this ball game. Last year against Arizona, he hit from 5th. Circle K that are on them, that are sent directly to the officials for the game. They bring them out. They make sure that they cannot be tampered with in any way, shape, or form.
In a sealed package, the official.
Okay. Just ask. The pass is incomplete. A receiver downfield for the Rams was decked by one of the Raiders. And I'm not sure officials bothered to see it.
I think they just got tangled up and he fell down. I don't know about being decked. It was decked. Perfect job by Joanne Armour. That's
Jermaine from the shotgun. And he waits too long. Defense had the coverage. Nobody was open, and he's dropped at the 40-yard line by Nick Martucci.
And, you know,
how it makes practice, if practice can be fun, a little bit better.
4 wide receivers deep over the middle, tipped, bounced, incomplete. The Raiders hold. They will take over on down. Joanne Armour had last touch for the Oakland Raiders.
I think he was trying too hard, trying to make too much happen. And he's just got to calm down. Now, I think John Gruden, Charlie, and Jim will give him another opportunity in 2 quarters in the Dallas game.
Because you know he's going to be down. You know, he's got to, you know, keep his head up and just go back to work tomorrow or Monday.
We're still taking the official countdown as the head coach of the Raiders comes across. Dick Vermeil and John Gruden. Let's go down and join George Atkinson. George?
Thank you, Charlie. I'm here with Rich Gannon. Rich, you had an okay night tonight. You were 7 of 10, 68 yards. Were you comfortable with the offense?
Oh, I was real comfortable with the offense. Disappointed the way we started. You know, certainly don't want to turn the ball over. We don't do that as an offense. That's something we got to get cleaned up, and you know, that's what training camp's all about.
Okay, did the Rams throw you some stuff that kind of confused you at all during the first quarter that you played?
No, we were right on our game plan. We got out of a bunch of plays. They showed us a different front that you know, we had talked about, but you know, we put that one nice drive together. You know, went about 80 yards, I do believe, and but we just got to get better, and we'll get better, and that's what training camp's all about.
What are some of the things we can look for from you next week?
Well, we'll install more of our offense. Obviously, we'll be a little more diverse, and hopefully we won't turn the ball over next week.
Thank you, Rich. Back to you.